Good morning, dear students. How are you? Today we are going to solve some exams for the final exams. Let's start with exam of المنوفية number 14. Question number 1 say that complete the following statements. Number 1 from the first class levers. What and what? Scissor and crowbar. Number 2 the what is between sun and the what in the solar eclipse. As we know, in solar eclipse, which objects in the middle? The moon. So the answer is the moon is between sun and the earth. Number 3, the harms resulted from the electric shock depends on what? Depends on two factors. Number 1, strength of electricity, and number 2, time taken by electricity. Number 4 from the second class levers is nutcracker or wheelbarrow or bottle opener and so on. But the third class levers is manual broom or tweezer, okay, or hockey bat and so on. Point B, what is the function of each of the following? Number 1, what is the function of the argon gas in the light bulb? As we learned before, the argon gas is inactive gas, doesn't burn and doesn't help in burning. So what is the function of it? It protects the filament from burning. Protect the filament from burning. Number 2, what is the function of the two pieces of lead in the base of light bulb? The pieces of lead used to connect the lamp to the electric circuit. Question number 2, write the scientific term. Number 1, a type of lever in which the arm of force may be equal the arm of resistance. May be, sometimes, so it is the first class lever. Number 2, the type of levers that always conserve effort is second class lever. Number 3, the material that covers the inner surface of the tube of fluorescent lamp is phosphoric material. Phosphoric material. Number 4, it occurs to the moon when a part of it enters shadow area of the earth. When part of the moon enter the area of umbra, what will form it? Partial lunar eclipse. Partial lunar eclipse. Point B, give reason for. Number 1, give reason why there is no annular lunar eclipse is formed. No annular lunar eclipse is formed. Why? Because as we know, the earth has a great size, so it will block all the sunlight from reaching the moon. So it will block all the sunlight from reaching the moon. Give reason number 2, the third class lever don't conserve effort. Why the third class lever don't conserve effort? Because as we know, in the first class lever, the effort arm is always shorter than the resistance arm. So the effort force is always greater than the resistance force. Okay, let's start with question number 3. Choose the correct answer. From the electric conductors is aluminum or wood or plastic? The answer is aluminum. Letter A. Number 2, from the levers that conserve effort. Letter A, nutcracker, wallet, weather, or cool holder. The answer is nutcracker because it is the second class lever. Number 3, when fulcrum is between effort force and resistance force, so the lever is first or second or third. It is the first class lever. When the fulcrum in the middle, this type of lever, first class lever. Number 4, when connecting the light bulbs in parallel with many light bulbs, the light intensity, what? Decreases or increases or remain constant? The answer is remains constant. In parallel, by increasing the number of lamps, the light intensity remains constant, doesn't it change? Number 5, plants absorbs water by flower or root hairs or stem? The answer is root hairs. Point B. What happened when? When the whole moon entered the umbra or the shadow area of the earth. When the whole moon in umbra, what will form it? The total lunar eclipse occurs. Okay. Number 2. If the man looks directly with the naked eye to the sun during the solar eclipse, what will happen? The eye retina will be harmed and may causes blindness. Number 3. The two guard cells of stomach can't change their shapes. What will happen? The stomach can't be opened or closed. Question number 4. Put right or wrong in front of the following statements. Number 1. The color of the moon is white in total lunar eclipse. Wrong, is red, not white. Number 2. The regular fire that are not resulted from electricity are extinguished by water. Yes, right. Number 3. The first man who described the lever was Archimedes. Yes, the answer is right. Number 4. The arm of force is shorter than the arm of resistance in the third class lever. Right or wrong? Yes, right. Point B. Problem. As we learned before, to solve a problem, the first step, write the rule. Write the rule. Okay? The rule says that effort force by its arm equal resistance force by resistance arm. Okay? So let's read the problem. The problem says that a balanced first class lever was affected by an effort force 500 Newton and the arm of force is 20 centimeter and was affected by resistance 200 Newton. Find the length of the resistance arm. So in this problem we have the effort force and force arm and resistance force, and we need to measure the resistance arm. So at the first, write the rule. The effort force by its arm equal the resistance force by resistance arm. Equal effort force equal what? 500 by its arm equal what? 20 equal resistance force equal what? 200 by the resistance arm. We need to measure it unknown. So the resistance arm equal 500 by 20 over 200. 500 by 20 over 200 equal what? Equal 50. 50 what? We measure resistance arm. So the unit is centimeter. Centimeter. Don't forget the unit. Okay. Letter our point C. Label the figure. Number 1 refers to what? Argon gas. Argon gas. Number 2 refers to what? Tungsten filament. Number 3 is glass bulb. Glass bulb. Number 4 is base of light bulb. Base of light bulb. Okay, that is the first exam. Let's solve another exam. Exam number 17, Ismailia. Okay. Question number 1, say that choose the correct answer. Number 1, the force arm is sometimes equal to the resistance arm in what class lever? First or second or third in the first class lever. So the answer is letter A. Number 2, what is considered from electric conductors? Plastic or iron or wood? The answer is iron, letter B. Number 3, when the whole moon enters the semi-shaded area of the earth, when the whole moon enters semi-shaded area, which is penumbra, what will form it? Solar eclipse or lunar eclipse or lunar non-eclipse? The answer is lunar non-eclipse. Number 4, the stoma in plant is surrounded by what guard cells? We have 2 guard cells. So the answer is letter A. Number 5, what is from the second class liver? Letter A, scissors or nutcracker or coal holder. The answer is letter B, nutcracker. Point B, the figure represents the light bulb. Look, then write what the number indicates. Number 1 refers to what? Refers to the glass bulb. But number 2 refers to what? Tungsten filament. Number 3, argon gas. Argon gas. Number 4, base of light bulb. Okay? Point C, problem. As we learned, to solve any problem, at the first step, write the rule. Okay? Then read the problem. The problem says that if a first class liver is affected by a force equal 500 Newton and its arm equal 20 centimeter and the resistance force equal to 200 Newton, calculate the resistance arm. So in this problem we have what? Effort force and force arm and resistance force, and we need to measure what? We need to measure the resistance arm. So the first step, we will write the rule. The rule say that the effort force by its arm equal resistance force by resistance arm. The effort force equal what? 500 by its arm equal what? 20 equal resistance force equal what? 200 by the resistance arm is unknown. So the resistance arm equal what? 500 by 20 over 200. Again, 500 by 20 over 200 equal what? Equal 50. 50 what? We measure arm, so its unit is centimeter. Question number 2, complete the following statement. Point number 1, the liver doesn't conserve effort. When what? When force arm is shorter than resistance arm. Number 2, the fluorescent lamp contains what gas and little of what? The fluorescent lamp contains argon gas and little of mercury vapor. Number 3, scissors is considered space class liver, is considered first class liver, while the fishing hook is considered what? Third class liver. Okay. Point B, the following figures represent the two electric circuit, circuit A and circuit B. Point number 1, say, mention the way in which the light bulbs are connected in each circuit. Letter A, as we see, the lamp are connected one after another in one route. So this type of connection is series connection. But in figure B, the lamps are connected in branching routes. So this type of connection is parallel. Number 2, which way, A or B, could be used to connect the electric lamp in house? We use what? We use letter B, parallel. Number 3, mention the reason why we use the parallel connection in connecting the lamp in houses. Because as we learned in parallel, if one lamp burned, the other lamps still lighted up. Again, because when one lamp burned, the other lamps still light up. Letter C, mention the function of lever in. What is the function of hockey pad? It's used to what? Increasing speed. Number two, what is the function of manual prim? The manual prim used to what? Increasing distance. Increasing distance. Question number three. Letter A. Give reason for. Number one, the second class levers always conserve effort. Why the second class lever always conserve effort? The answer is because the force arm is always longer than the resistance arm. So the effort force is always smaller than resistance force. Number two, we shouldn't look directly at the sun with the naked eye during the solar eclipse. Why we shouldn't look to the sun directly? Because as we know, the sun emits ultraviolet rays and infrared rays which may causes blindness. Letter P. Write scientific term. Number one, the fixed point at which levers rotate around is fulcrum. Point number two, one of dangers of electricity that causes the damage of the body tissues is electric burns. Number three, it occurred when the whole moon enters shadow area. When the whole moon enters shadow area, which is umbra, what will happen? Total lunar eclipse. Total lunar eclipse. Number four, rigid bar that rotates around a fixed point and affected by effort force and resistance force is lever. Number five, the energy needed for plants to form its food. The plant get what from the sunlight? Get light energy. Light energy. Okay? Letter C. Notice the following figure, then answer the following question. Number one, the figure represents an astronomical phenomenon, which is, as you see in this figure, which object in the middle? Moon. So this type of eclipse is solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Number two, write the label A and B and C in this figure. Letter A refers to what? The sun. But letter B refers to what? The moon. And letter C is the earth. Question number four. What happened when? Number one, the force arm and resistance arm are equal. When the force arm equal resistance arm, what will happen? The effort force, excellent, is equal to the resistance force. Number two, part of moon enter shadow area of the earth. What will happen when part of the moon enter umbra area, shadow area, the umbra area? What will happen? Partial lunar eclipse occurs or formed. Letter B, put right or wrong. Number one, the first class levers has the resistance between the force and the fulcrum. Wrong. In the first class lever, the fulcrum is in the middle. Number two, the moon is colored in red at the start of total lunar eclipse. Yes, right. Number three, the soda water opener is an example of second class lever. Yes, right. Number four, fires resulted from electricity are put out by water. Wrong, by sand. The last question, mention two precautions when dealing with electricity. What is the precautions in dealing with electricity? For example, don't place several connections in the same socket. Or don't touch an electric machine with a wet hand. Okay, that's exam number 2. Thanks, primary 6.